This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
You all ready for this? Dun 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 dun.
No. Y'all, just stop. This is a sham. Welcome to DBL. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Yeah.
The week flew by, didn't it?
It really did.
For me, it did.
It's Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
good.
That's a meme.
I think a lot of adults feel like that. I think, especially when you have kids, you're just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. So
Do you guys have like certain moods for each day? Like, oh, it's Monday, you know, like that?
I always loved Monday and Tuesday, but that's because I used to drink, so those are the best specials.
Oh,
yeah. Taco Tuesday in LA, come see me.
I was not expecting that.
That's good. That's good.
There you go.
That's funny.
Hey,
Yeah.
if you're having a bad day, no, don't do that. All right. So Rihanna is having a bumpy ride. Get it?
Yes.
During her final months of pregnancy.
I got it.
Karen, great job, great job. Her boyfriend and father of their child, A$AP Rocky, he's a rapper, was arrested at LAX airport on his way back from Barbados, where he was spending time with Riri and her family. He was charged with assault with a gun from an incident last year. There are also rumors that the two had split because he cheated, which turned out to be false. So sources told ET that Riri is focused on her pregnancy and not stressing out.
As she should.
Yeah, she's in her third trimester. Just to break this down a little bit more, I think she just launched at Ulta. Dre was telling us, our makeup artist. And her boyfriend just gets arrested. This is a lot going on when you have a baby on the way.
Well, I think this is par for the course for any blessing. Anytime, we've had this conversation, even when, the whole Oscar thing. Anytime everything is going your way, prepare for all the elements to come in to distract, deter, and then make sure that you aren't able to enjoy it. And that is a part of the battle of receiving these blessings,
And just life in general, I would say.
Right. And I think, I'm always like a little bit of a conspiracy theorist when it comes to timing of things.
Yeah.
Like, so it had to have been at that moment.
That's what I was going to say.
That he got arrested
That's what I
for
was
an
gonna
incident
bring
in
up.
November after he was getting off a private plane from Barbados. Like, it feels a little timed out.
Yeah, doesn't it smell as stinky as a Seattle fish market in the middle of an August day?
Yeah.
Okay.
You had it, and then you added a couple new parts.
Too many.
People didn't like that, but I like the first part.
Thanks. Yeah, it just felt really weird to do it right now, especially in third trimester. It felt very, very specific, which I didn't like. I also agree with you. In Buddhism, they say when something bad happens, don't grasp it. But when something good happens, don't grasp it on too hard. Let things flow. And I think that's what you're saying. Like, as things happen, things are going to creep in, and you have to be able to step back and somehow detach a little, relax a little, which is interesting.
I mean, normally I would make fun of that, but I like that.
Thanks.
Because, if you live your life by that, then you don't fall into the trap that we all kind of do in our minds where we think the world is either all for us or all against us.
Right.
Where, three bad things happen, you're like, the heavens hate me. It's like, probably not. Just three things happen, and I think when you look at it like that was really good, that was really bad, let's try and keep it moving.
Just like touch it and move
I think
on.
it's a good thing, but I think we're leaving out one thing about Rihanna. We're forgetting she has a superpower, and that's that she's from the islands. It's a different mindset. I used to work for Carnival.
Oh, interesting.
I've been to the islands literally hundreds of times. It's the way that they're like, oh man, it's all right. I'd be like, hey, I have to catch my flight in an hour. It's okay. And they just stop, get a beer, talk to a friend, and I'm like back there on my America stuff. But they don't live like that, and I love the mentality and the way that they approach life. So I think if anybody's gonna work through this and has been trained for this, it's Rihanna.
All right.
Did I say it right, Karen?
Rihanna.
We only talked about that. I thought I was going to mess up. That's why I said Riri twice.
I know.
Because I didn't want it. It was already in my head.
Well, let me nail this, Jeff. You just stand aside.
All right, let's talk about Nick Cage. He made his first talk show appearance in 14 years. He went on Jimmy Kimmel Live to chat about some of the long-standing urban legends about himself. Like the time he paid around $80,000 for a two-headed snake. Is this true? Let's watch.
They would fight, and one head was more dominant than the other. And why? It was going to the same stomach, but I would have to put a spatula between the two heads to feed him, and it just got a little too freaky for me. So I took it to the Audubon Zoo, and I said, this is for you, and they had a great time with it. I think they did name it. I don't know what the name was, but it lived for 14 years, and it died just recently. So,
wow.
But it was a good time for the snake and for the folks that visited the zoo.
I don't know why, I just like watching him talk.
too.
So the snake's name was Harvey, named after, of course, the Batman villain Harvey Dent, a.k.a. Two-Face. So Nicholas also confirmed that after winning $20,000 at a casino in the Bahamas, speaking of, he donated the money to an orphanage. He did clear up the rumor that he bought a cave full of bats in North Dakota. That was not true. You are not the father. Yeah, so I don't know why I don't know. Nicolas Cage himself is like an urban legend to me. I don't know why I'm so interested. That movie, I'm really looking forward to seeing.
Well, why do you think that the idea of making a movie about him is so fascinating?
Right.
Because he himself it's the most meta movie we'll see ever. It's about Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage. It's very Inception, right? It's like a loop of where are we in this social way of seeing this? But I think Nick Cage is good enough and weird enough and funny enough to allow a whole movie just about him.
Well, I think it's because of how he's conducted his career and the fact that he stays out of the public light. And that's why we're kind of
interested.
We're interested in like hearing like, was that true and is that true? I don't know if he's on TikTok. I don't know what his basement looks like we do with all celebrities now. He's still got that mystique, and I think people want to know, and it seems like he's willing to tell us, so I'm here for it. Plus, that suit was amazing.
Yeah,
I was gonna
Let
say.
me put that suit on, y'all will never see me again.
You slide away.
Al Jackson on Daily Blast Live by myself, just laying across the table in that suit.
That's what I was picking up on. Nick Cage looks good, y'all.
Yes.
Yeah, he
And there was a time
He didn't look so
where,
good.
people were concerned, and he looks
looked
like,
very good.
he's put in the work,
You're right.
and he just looks great. It's great to see him like that.
I thought the same thing. I thought his skin looked good. I thought he looked healthy. He was quick. I thought that's what do you call it? Would you call it what do you call it when you have a, when you
I think you said it perfectly.
A comeback. Would you say he needs a comeback
Yeah,
like Jonathan
glow up?
Travolta? Or no. Do you think he's-
Jonathan Travolta?
I'm just
What is
saying,
it, the DMV?
I'm just saying, do you think you would call it a comeback, or did he never leave?
Okay, let me help you out. What I like about Nicolas Cage is everyone wants this instant gratification right now. He let that legend grow, right? And stories became stories on top of stories in the urban legend. He didn't clear it up. He didn't go on TikTok. We don't see him. We see too much of celebrities right now. I think some of the nostalgia that we want to see of Nicolas Cage is that we haven't seen him in 14 years. He hasn't been on a show.
That's an important point too, because it's like the saying, like whatever people else or whatever anyone believes about you, that's their business, not yours. It's like, just continue you have to be such a secure person to just let things ride. And if you let things ride long enough, you're absolutely right. Like it creates this whole allure to, why doesn't this person care? It's like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that about myself.
Yeah, and then when you hear the stories there, some of them are true.
Yeah. It's
And then you can show up on a talk show with a shiny suit. And everyone loves
Best
suits.
person to play two truths and a lie with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be
Oh, that'd be
You would never
great. That'd be
know.
great. So before we go, we want to wish Queen Elizabeth II a happy birthday.
Yay.
She's 96 years young today. To honor the Queen, this portrait was released showing Her Majesty standing between two ponies, And Mattel has also come out with a Queen Barbie. But some people on Twitter couldn't help but notice that Barbie looks similar to Helen Mirren, who won an Oscar for playing the Queen.
Yes.
Is that more Helen Mirren and not so much?
Definitely.
Very
Helen
much
Mirren.
so. It looks nothing
Some
like the
would
actual
say that it
Queen.
is her. Yes. I mean, it looks just like her. But I mean, that's probably the image of the Queen that most people have in their head. So it kind of makes sense.
That's
even
not the
though-
real Queen.
But that's the one most people know.
But that's
the,
terrible.
Maybe from her birthday, she will get a royal call from Jonathan Travolta.
Yeah,
All right. Coming up on DBL, the Queen of Versailles herself, Jackie Siegel. She tells us about her return to reality TV. Plus, Julia Roberts reveals her secret to a successful marriage, and it's one word. We'll reveal what our word is. We're going to talk about it. What's coming up next?
Closed captioning provided by
This April, connect with Al, Tori, Erica, Jeff, and Sam.
What are we talking about?
Real conversations are on DBL. I love this story.
That's why you watch every show.
DBL, all new, every day.
I'll take care of it.
Okay, I'm sure. Hello, everyone. I don't know why I said Jonathan
Do you remember
Travolta.
your word that you sent Karen?
Yes, of course.
Okay, don't say it right now. But at the end of...
Is this that hard?
I'm going to count to three and we all say it.
1, 2, 3, say it. We all got it.
Let's see if we
got
messed
it.
up.
Okay.
Let's see if we messed up.
Really quickly, John Travolta had a great comeback. A lot of people don't know. after Saturday Night Fever and all that stuff, he went and did Grease, and he was this big hotshot. And then remember the Look Who's Talking? Right. That was sort of a lull. Look Who's Talking 2, sort of a lull.
I thought those were cash grabs.
They were, and they weren't that. And I thought they were quite good. But then Pulp Fiction is famously his comeback, the John Travolta comeback. And in many ways, they reference Grease in Pulp Fiction. For instance, the scene where he's driving and she just had the needle stuck out of her is a direct replica of the scene at the very end of Grease while he's driving in the same convertible with Sandy as they go off into the weird Ferris wheel. So Quentin Tarantino actually used parts of Grease and John Travolta. For instance, they go to the restaurant where everybody's like Marilyn Monroe and stuff, and you see John Travolta dance, and it looks like him from Saturday Night Fever as a person who's supposed to be a waiter at that table. It's very
that was such
meta.
a cool scene.
I like when you get those little
nuggets. Easter eggs.
I love that. I really like that when they do that.
Very smart of Tarantino to have used Travolta in that way, I think.
When directors something you really like, and then you find out later it was they always say an homage. Is that homage?
Yeah,
is that the word?
Quentin Tarantino's such a cinematic person that those homages to him are little thank yous. Cinematic thank yous. And it's, if you ever want to really go deep, listen to Tarantino describe behind the scenes, because every scene and every detail
it's so great.
It's purposeful.
I've listened to him talk about film. It's like he's like a real life film junkie.
He's like Scorsese.
I listen to that guy. Welcome back.
Jonathan Travolta.
I thought we were on a commercial break. All right, so Julia Roberts recently dished out some marriage advice. She and Stephen Colbert both gave a one-word secret. They just gave one word to marriage advice. Let's listen.
On 3, we'll say what the secret is.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Kissing.
Apologize. You said what?
I said kissing.
You said. Well, I would like to apologize to my wife for not saying kissing.
Okay, so one word that describes the secret to a successful marriage. I was not prepared, obviously. Okay, so on 3, we're all gonna say ours, right?
Okay.
Let's
But
try
it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, then say it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Communication.
Listening.
Okay,
We messed up my word.
We messed it up?
No one
All right,
would
let's
have
go down.
noticed.
No one would notice. Tori, let's start with you. What's your
I said
word?
listening.
Listening?
Listening. You have to be able to.
What did you say?
Good one.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people listen, but they're not really listening. And once Brooks and I have an issue and we are in what we call a trigger circle, and we realize we can't get out, if you really listen without the attitude or the tone, you will get out of your trigger circle. So to me, it's listening. And I do a lot of talking, so that's important.
First of all, trigger circle sounds like a show on A&E.
But I'm not sure what that is.
It's when you're triggering each other and you're just in a fight and no one's getting out.
I agree that in couples therapy we learned it's like when you listen, you say, did you hear me? Not do you agree? Just did you hear what I was saying? My word really quickly was versus, and I actually got it from Erica. And it's you and your partner versus the world. And you guys looking at everything as a team and not trashing your partner and not saying, oh, man, let me tell you what so-and-so did. Keeping your business in the house and understanding that any issue is something you guys need to go against together as a unit. Maybe I would still be married if I knew that.
What if the trash needs to be taken out? You blame the world?
Well, you hold the hand in hand. You guys both do. Skip down the end of the driveway.
My word is compromise, because if you can figure out a way to compromise on anything that you're, at odds in, then that does make you stronger and it does make you a more unified team. What about yours?
I like that. Communication, another C one. Communication was the key for me personally with me and my wife. We just weren't communicating. I like to put things way deep down there and not mention them again.
Bottle it up.
And then blow up.
Hello, every guy.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna shove all these feelings down here and put some vodka on top of it. It'll be fine.
Why not? And then ever since I let that genie out of the bottle, I'm crying at Snuggles commercial. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Once you just so many guys. I say it during my comments, just let it go, guys. Let it. I know y'all want to cry. That's why y'all so mad on Twitter. Just you thought commercial. It made you think of your dad. You teared up, and then you went online and said
You're angry about
you
it.
hate DBL.
That's exactly right. You're absolutely right.
You had an emotion. You had to channel it somewhere else because you felt uncomfortable. Fellas, just cry. You'll feel way better.
I feel like we broke through.
I do too. That was a good. That was
a nice little
Group therapy,
segment.
everyone.
We got out of my trigger circle. Thank you.
We'll be right back.
It's helpful, though.
I've never really.
Rumors about the ingredients of McDonald's ice cream began swirling among pet owners on social media in mid-April. Facebook and Twitter users shared a claim that McDonald's uses xylitol, an artificial sweetener, in their sweet treat. The post warns pet owners should not feed their dogs the dessert. Verify viewer Lou emailed us to get the scoop on the ingredients. So let's verify. Does McDonald's use xylitol in its ice cream? Our sources are a McDonald's USA spokesperson, a check of the ingredients on McDonald's website, the Food and Drug Administration, and the ASPCA. Xylitol is commonly swapped for sugar in everything from baked goods, toothpaste, vitamins, breath mints, and sugar-free desserts, like skinny ice cream. A McDonald's USA spokesperson tells Verify neither its ice cream nor its desserts contain xylitol. We also checked the ingredients in its soft serve and found a vanilla cone relies on sugar for its sweetness, not xylitol. So, no, McDonald's does not use xylitol in its ice cream. The FDA and ASPCA say pet owners are right to be concerned about the ingredient. This is because in some species, especially dogs, xylitol prompts a sudden release of insulin, which can cause the animal's blood sugar to drop and lead to seizures. The FDA says xylitol is safe for humans, especially people with diabetes who are trying to limit their sugar intake. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
This April, connect with Al, Tori, Erica, Jeff, and Sam.
What are we talking about?
Real conversations are on DBL.
I love this story.
That's why you watch every show.
DBL, all new every day.
Welcome back. She spent 20 years building the largest home in America, a 90,000 square foot palace that could be worth over $100 million once it's finished. And earlier, we got to chat with the Queen of Versailles herself, Jackie Siegel.
Welcome. So happy to be here today.
Oh, well, we're so happy
you.
to have you here. When we last saw you, your husband's company had gone under and your dream house was for sale. Tell us, how did it all turn out? It feels like it's turned out for the better?
Well, my husband, he's an amazing businessman. He made all his money back. We own the largest casino in Las Vegas. That's not a public company. We're family owned. And now it's time to finish Versailles. Yeah.
Wow. So my question, full disclosure, me and my wife just had a fight about a half hour ago. She wants to redo our whole house. We just bought the house. Yes. Don't get me started. So have you and your husband, David, had any disagreements during the building process?
Yes, we have. My husband, he wanted a blue roof. And I thought, who in the world puts a blue roof on a house? But you know what? He's colorblind, and that's the only color he can see. So it's like, okay, I had to bend a little bit, but I toned it down, the blue, a little bit more, because he wanted like fluorescent blue.
Your bending and my bending are two totally different things.
And he wanted a Benihana kitchen.
Ooh.
And I don't know. We're trying to figure that out. So like, because the smell of the Benihana kitchen might, smell the house. So I might put it outdoors or something, but that's another battle we'll have to go through maybe on season 2.
I think you got plenty of room there that you wouldn't smell it from certain parts of that house. Yeah.
And I never thought we'd hear the phrase toned down associated with that house. I appreciate it. That was amazing. Now, let's be real. You were once quoted as saying you would spend $1 million a year shopping. What has been the single most expensive part of building this house?
I would say it's got to be my ballroom floor that I just went to Indonesia, and I picked out entire like gemstones for the floor, like amethyst and topaz and lapis and all that. And with the scraps, it's actually quality that I'm going to make jewelry out of.
So your new show, The Queen of Versailles, reigns again on Discovery Plus. Why has it taken so long to finish the house, and when do you plan to move in?
Okay, well, it's taken so long because I guess I wasn't in charge. Now I'm in charge. Girl power. And I want to finish the house because I want to live there as a family. And my kids are growing up. We're getting older. And it's going to be done. Well, I'm hoping to throw a New Year's Eve party this year, hopefully, if my ballroom floor gets here. But I want it to be done for my husband's birthday next year, May 3rd, 2023.
Wow. We'll be there.
We're gonna like,
And you won't even know it.
Ding dong. Hi. Okay,
I'm going to have, maybe I'll do like a virtual and in-person party.
Can you talk to us about Victoria's Voice? That's your foundation. Please tell our viewers the mission and a little bit more about it.
Yeah, that's one thing that slowed the house down when we lost our daughter from the drug epidemic. We felt like we had no passion for the house anymore. But since then, we started Victoria's Voice, which is a mission about educating people, going to schools and incarceration centers, and warning people about like the fentanyl is now the big problem. So that's really my reason. That and living there as a family and being a mom. Those are the two main things that are driving me right now to finish this house. Because otherwise, I mean, I'm happy like running around like barefoot in shorts and a tank top like in my current house, you know.
Jackie, thank you for sharing that with you, with all of us, and just thank you for being here. We appreciate it. So to all of our viewers, you gotta watch The Queen of Versailles. Reigns again, streaming on Discovery Plus. Also, make sure to check out Victoria's Voice, a very important foundation. Thank you so much, Jackie. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
also called a Mobius loop, or the chasing arrows. It stands for reduce, reuse, recycle, but that doesn't always mean all three apply. Let's verify. Does the chasing arrow symbol mean something is recyclable? Our sources are Sarah Dearman with the Recycling Partnership, the Montgomery County, Maryland Division of Solid Waste Services, the Federal Trade Commission, and the EPA. The FTC has guidelines on how to market recyclable materials, but it's on the manufacturer to follow them, and it doesn't regulate the use of the three-arrow symbol. In fact, some versions of the chasing arrow are only meant to show the item is made in part with recycled materials, not that it's still recyclable. Aluminum cans, glass bottles, clean unlaminated paper. The EPA says those are all typically a safe bet for the single-stream recycling bins you'll find around town. But plastic makes for a trickier toss. The arrow symbol surrounds a number called the resin identification number.
Well, that's actually just telling you what the material is. It's telling us what type of plastic it is, not necessarily that it's recyclable.
You may already know different areas and waste management systems are equipped to recycle different types of plastics, but that also means you'll find the symbol on materials that are not widely recyclable. For example, many foam containers are Type 6, which is typically not accepted at recycling facilities. Type 4 can be recyclable, but if it's used in a plastic bag, wrap, or bubble mailer, you'll probably have to find a special collection bin.
It can go be recycled, but if it goes into your curbside recycling cart, then it can actually mess up their equipment.
Items may also be made up of different types of plastics, some recyclable, some not.
This package, you actually need to take this pump off before you put it in the recycling bin.
So we can verify, no, the chasing arrow symbol does not mean an item is recyclable. You might have to think before you toss, but when you do, you're minding the planet.
People want to recycle, but we do have to make this information more easily available and make sure that it's not too confusing.
And remember, even when you can't recycle, reducing and reusing when possible are equally important. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Road rage cases are piling up around the country. Last year, the Gun Violence Archive records show about 500 people were injured or killed in a road rage shooting. That's up about 200 shootings from 2019. There could be even more because many police departments don't keep track of road rage incidents. mainly because road rage isn't a specific crime to keep statistics up, and it's a problem that won't go away anytime soon. AAA says about 8 in 10 drivers will express significant anger while driving at least once over the next 30 days. AAA adds if you see someone driving aggressively, it's best to not respond to them. If you feel you're at risk, drive to a public place, pull over, and call 911 if you feel threatened.
Get ready because we've got some deals for everyone. Someone just changed the script while I was on break because I changed it to who's ready to shop.
Nice, nice.
We got our friends at morningsave.com are hooking us up. Check it out.
Steph, what do you have for us today?
So first up, we've got a 2-pack of Let's Fit white noise machine with 30 soundtracks.
Whoa.
So this deal includes 2 white noise machines. It's also adjustable with a night light. Normally it's $60. We've got it, Tori, for $24, which saves everyone at home 60%. We've got IQ Technologies Pro V 10s EMS bundle. This deal includes 1 10s unit, which is this.
Wow.
1 massage belt.
Whoa.
1 pair of IQ slippers. 2 large TENS pads and 1 travel bag. Normally, it's $160 for this bundle. We've got it just for Daily Blast Live viewers for $39, which saves everyone 76%. We've got Vonkyo Cinemango 100 Wi-Fi projector with 100-inch screen.
Whoa.
So this deal includes 1 projector, 1 remote, 1 carrying bag, 1 AV cable, 1 HD cable, 1 power cable, 1 projector screen with an installation kit. It's got a bright display, Wi-Fi, and razor sharp images. This device is normally $181.
Okay.
And now we've got it for only $69, saving everyone 62%. And last but certainly not least, we've got the MKF collection by Mia K. Aubrey satchel.
Ooh.
So the deal includes 1 bag and we've got it available. Are you ready? I think this is a record in 21 colors.
Stop it.
I know. I mean, this is such a high-end product that normally it's $279.
Yeah.
And now it's only $44, saving up to 84%.
Guys, head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices. You can even go ahead and scan that QR code right on your screen, or you can visit morningsave.com on your smartphone. Thank you so much, Steph.
I like that projection screen for the summertime. That looks really great for the kids.
Put a little sheet down or something, put some lights up, have some popcorn, and you are like in a Pinterest picture.
Yes. Could I get that out of your trunk?
Okay.
My neighbors did that, and I'm no joke. I'll look over sometimes and watch the movie.
I think I'm going to do that. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
I don't have it.